Good evening, dear ladies. I would like בסייעתא דשמיא to bless. שיתגלה משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו אמן. שיגיע מבשר אליהו, הנביא אליהו, תשבי אליהו גלעדי, במהרה משיח דוד אליהו וזכור לטוב. I'm reminding you that this Shabbat is Shabbat Chukat, and we have lessons. Hashem gave me the zchut to give lessons about Parah Aduma. The red cow. Please, you can go to Rabbanit.com or TorahAnytime.com and you'll see lessons about Parah Aduma, red cow. Today we're going to speak, to continue Tomer Dvorah, we're going to speak about disagreement. We cannot go through Parashat Shlach Lecha, the portion of the Meraglim, of the spies, and not Parashat Korah, without referring to this. Because of disagreement and false hatred, the temple is not built yet. Because of the disagreement and false hatred, we are now in front of the 3 weeks, Shloshet HaShavuot, from the 17th of Tammuz to Tisha B'Av to the 9th of Av. And because of this, the temple is not built yet, because we did not fix this false hatred and disagreement. So we're going to speak about it today. It's written במסכת חגיגה, זהו שוטה המאבד מה שנותנים לו. Who is a fool? He who loses what Hashem gave him. Who is a fool? He who loses what Hashem gave him. I want to remind you, we're in the month of Tammuz. And in the month of Tammuz and the month of Av, I already told you in the past lesson that these are months that are harsh judgment in the world. So please do not fight with anyone. Do not answer back. Even if you see that there's fights in the family, don't answer back. Close your mouth. Zip your mouth and don't answer back. Because remind yourselves that this is the month of Tammuz and the month of Av. And I'm reminding you 3 months Esav HaRasha, Esav the wicked took. It was Tevet, Tammuz, Be'av. And on Tevet, we have the fast of Asara B'Tevet, the 10th of Tevet, because the siege over Yerushalayim started then. And then on the 17th of Tammuz, the walls of Yerushalayim, of Jerusalem fell. And on the 9th of Av and the 10th of Av, the temple was burnt. So I'm reminding you. And world wars started on the month of Tammuz and Av. So please, yes, don't fight, don't answer back. If somebody in the road, when you're driving, comes in front of you or takes your parking, it's from Hashem. Don't do anything, don't get angry, because people get angry in these times like this. 1, 2, 3, and people get angry. Just remind yourself, this is the month of Tammuz, we do not get angry. We shouldn't get angry the whole year, but especially in these months. So, what does it mean? Who is a fool? It's a person that loses what was given to him, which means loses the knowledge that everything that he has was given to him. It's not because he worked so hard for everything, it's because Hashem wanted him to have it. Do you understand the difference? Which means if Hashem wants me to be now a president of a country, if he wants, he will make me a president. But if Hashem doesn't want, I cannot work hard for it and think that I'm going to be a president. Because you remember, I already told you this, בסייעתא דשמיא, that only Hashem chooses presidents, kings, all of the high positions. It's from Hashem. It's not. It seems like human beings go and vote. But the truth is, it's from God. Everything is from God. What God decides, this is what's going to happen. We do an effort. And the effort that we do is also with the power of God inside us, with the power of Hashem inside us. Because the soul carries the body. I cannot do an effort without the soul that is inside me, because if the soul goes out, the body falls. But the soul is the one that helps us do the effort. Even when I cook, even when I cook, even if I do things, dear ladies, it's the soul, the siyata dishmaya, that causes us to do any action. It's not really us, it's the soul that does it, which is the part of Hashem. Even a thief, we already studied this in Tomer Dvorah. When a thief goes and watches a house and goes into the house, how does he do it? Who is giving him livelihood while he's doing this? It's Hashem, it's God who's giving him, because the soul is inside him. If he wants, in a second he takes out the soul, and the thief cannot go and steal anything in that house. But Hashem gives him livelihood to eat, to drink, to have, and you know, some of the thieves even ask God to help them to do what they are doing. So dear ladies, everything comes from God. לכן, איזהו שוטה מאבד מה שנותנים לו. He who forgets what Hashem gave him, that everything that he has is from Hashem. Now, dear ladies, Midrash Tanchuma says, פרשה זו יפה נדרשת בתורת האמונה. All of this parasha, portion of Korah, is all about faith. Because כי כל המחלוקות והסכסוכים, all of the disagreement and fights שיש בבני אדם, that are among human beings, listen very carefully, it's not only in the micro, it's also in the macro. All the fights among nations over territories and other things, everything שיש בבני אדם שורשם בחוסר אמונה וביטחון. The root of all of this is the lack of faith and bitachon and confidence in Hashem. That's the roof of everything. What is machloket, disagreement? It's divided to two words. It's chelek. You see chelek, part, ומה שנשאר מוות, of death. You see? That's machloket, chelek mavet. What part of death? That's the part of the evil inclination. The evil inclination has three jobs. One, he comes to make us sin. He speaks with us. He tells us we can do this. Please go. Yes, pushes us to sin. The second part is called Satan. He's called Satan. Why? Because then he goes and prosecutes us after we sinned. After he did his job, he goes up to Hashem, to God, and he says, Hashem, look, your child did A, B, C. He prosecutes us in front of Hashem. And the third thing that he does, after Hashem says, well, it's true, my son sinned. He didn't do my will. Then he asks a permission to take that person's soul. Then he becomes the angel of death. So, machloket, disagreement, comes for chelek mavet. It's part of the evil inclination. It comes only from that, because if everybody understands that everything that we have comes from Hashem, so there's no disagreement. We all agree about everything because we are happy with what we have. Ezeu ashir, כן, ezeu ashir, hasameach bechelko. You see chelek? You see? Chelek bo. Dear ladies, you see it? מה זה בו? ו' is 6, ב' is 2 in numerical value, together it's 8, it's above nature, זה כבר נס. Above nature, לבריאות. Dear ladies, so who is rich? A person who is happy with what Hashem gave him. He understands that we are only visitors in this world, not more than visitors. If you came to this world as a baby, you know you go out of the world. Everybody understands this. We are not here forever. Baruch Hashem that we are not here forever. Baruch Hashem that we are limited over here. So dear ladies, once we come to this world, we came only to fix. So Hashem knows we came to fix, so He gives us exactly what we need. The husband, the children, the roof over our heads, food on the table, clothing, everything. The Baal Shem Tov says, if a person would have known that he wears people, he eats people, and everything that he sits on is people, he would do his fixing. So ask me, how come? Because in everything that we have around us, even the clothing that we wear, there are sparks of holiness. And those sparks of holiness belong to us because we have this clothing. Why do we go to a store and we see clothing and there's a lot of dresses over there and a lot of skirts and blouses, and still we choose certain ones? Because in those there are sparks of holiness that are connected to our soul, and we need going to get them on us and to fix them. And once we fixed all of these sparks of holiness, we look at the clothes and we say, I'm not going to wear this anymore, I'm going to give it to tzedakah. It's not, כן, אנחנו מביאים את זה צדקה, אנחנו שולחים את זה, or we give it to our sisters, brothers, we stop wearing them. It's, לא, לא, בכל מקרה, כל לבוש שאנחנו לובשים, in general. Why? Because we finished the fixing with the sparks of holiness in the item, and now it doesn't belong to us anymore. Another person needs to do a fixing with the same item with different sparks of holiness that are inside this item. It's the same thing with our sofa and our table in the salon, in the living room, and everything that we have. After a while, we say, well, we don't need it anymore. We're going to give it to somebody else. We're going to ask somebody else if they want it. Why? Because we finished our fixing. That's why we eat. Even if the plate has watermelon and all the watermelon looks the same, still we look at it and we don't choose this, we choose this. Because it's not us that want this. It's the food calling us. רעבים גם צנראים, נפשם בהם תתעטף. Chapter 107 in Tehillim. It's the food.
It's not our fault, we are size.
It's the food. Well, it's our fault if we have lust. If we have lust. We eat exactly what we need. A woman asked me yesterday, so tell me please, how can we eat and not gain weight? So I told her, before you start the blessing, before you bless, say to Hashem, Hashem, everything that I'm going to eat, B'siyata Dishmea, please make it that it will be for my health, so I can worship you with happiness. That I will be healthy and happy to worship you. Then everything that you're going to bless now and to eat, you will eat exactly the measure that you need. Hashem won't let you eat more than that. Because you asked this from Him.
But like, should we say loud or should we say inside out?
You can say inside, you can say it loud. If there's nobody in the table, you can say it, speak with Hashem. That's good. You know, my niece once came to my house.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Bracha v'atzlacha b'ezrat Hashem.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. We'll take it later. So, dear ladies, my niece came to my house and she saw me speaking. So she asked me, tell me, who are you speaking to? There's nobody in the house. I said, I'm speaking to Hashem. I speak to Hashem. This is Tfilah D'Oraita. I speak to Hashem. If I'm blessing my children, I say, Hashem, the way I bless my children, I want all of the children of Israel to be blessed. Like I bless my children, that all of these blessings will be over Klal Yisrael. Not only my children. This is speaking to Hashem. I speak to Hashem. Dear ladies, Hashem is part of us. His soul is in us. It's not that we are doing anything on our own. Even when I bake a cake, I tell Hashem, Hashem, please. See, I baked a banana nut cake. And I had a lot of bananas this Friday, a lot of them. So I said, okay, I'm going to bake banana nut cakes. And I took what I have and I made a cake. And I'm telling Hashem, Hashem, I don't know what's going to get out of this, which kind of cake, if it will be good or not. But the effort that I'm doing is with your power, because my soul is from you. It's with your power. So please, Hashem, make it taste good. And I have to tell you, everybody that tasted told me it was the best cake that you made. Yeah, I just mixed things together. I had a lot of bananas. I mixed everything, and everybody that tasted told me, wow, this is the most best cake that you did. So, dear ladies, we speak to Hashem, and once we speak to Hashem, we elevate the physical world into the spiritual world. So when people eat what we do, they eat also all the blessings. It's already, all the sparks of holiness is awakened inside the food, and when they eat it, they feel happy. They feel that it tastes good. Even if try it. Even if something wasn't so good, you're doing something and you feel, I don't think it's so good. Ask from Hashem, please, put your blessing, Hashem, in it. Make it tasty. I'm telling you this, Hashem gives the blessing inside because it says, my daughter is speaking to me. So first Hashem says, now, I'm not going to bring storms, anything in the world. I have first to listen to my daughter. She's speaking to me. That's the power of Itbodedut, the power of speaking to Hashem. Hashem says, my daughter, Bat Israel speaks to me, I have to stop everything. Then he listens. He says, okay, look, she's baking a cake. She's making a cake and she's asking me to help her. That's what happens. Hashem in heaven stops everything and just listens to his daughter.
So
That's why you see...
Hashem.
Sorry?
We have to make him...
Yes, to speak that it means that you don't lose what he gave you. You understand? Why? Because מה זה מה? המאבד מה שנותנים לו. What is מה? What Hashem gave him. Mem is 40, Hey is 5. How much is it together? 45. This is Adam. Aleph is 1, Dalet is 4, Mem is 40. Together it's 45. He is losing the... not the acknowledgement, not the schut, the merit of being a human being. Because a full person is a person, dear ladies, who sins, who doesn't do the will of Hashem. So what is, when we compare ourselves to the animals, dear ladies, we are also animals with the clothing of human being. We need to be deservable of the term human being. So a fool that doesn't listen to Hashem, it means, it says, who sins? A person that ruach shtut nichnesa bo, that a spirit of fullness went into him. This is a person who sins, because if a spirit of fullness wouldn't come into him, he would be wise, he will understand the purpose of being in this world. It's not only to eat, drink, and party all the time. The purpose in being in this world is to do fixing. Which kind of fixing? Between us and among us and other human beings. To fix everything that we did. That's why we meet each other. It's not a coincidence. We came to this world, we already met each other in previous reincarnations. We came to fix and to help each other. And if we sins towards each other, we came to do good to each other. Not only us, the children of Israel, all the nations. Everybody, the Muslims, the Christians, the Buddhists, everyone came to do good with one another. That's why we are here. To show God that we know that He's the King of Kings, that He's the ruler, He created the world, and we came to do good deeds with each other and to fulfill His commandments. The children of Israel, 620 commandments, like the number of crown, and all of the nations, they have 7 commandments of Noach. That's what we came to do. This is what Hashem told us to do. So we can see that a person that doesn't do it loses this unpriceable term of being called a human being. So we go to machloket. When is the machloket when is the disagreement and lack of faith and confidence in Hashem? So Midrash Tanchuma says this: "Vatiftach haaretz et pi Korah, and all of his people were punished by opening, the earth opened its mouth." And you'll tell me, well, there's earthquakes, but this wasn't an earthquake. The earth opened its mouth just like a mouth, swallowed everybody in with fire, and closed like nothing was there. Earthquakes, they don't close back. But they closed back. Mama swallowed them until today, they're lemata b'sheol. Until today, it's written by Gemara that there's a Bedouin that told one of the rabbis, come and you'll hear Korah and all of his people. And there's a hole in the desert where you see smoke come out of it, and he put a tzemar gefen, cotton with a little bit of water on it, put it over there, and he said, please listen. And he heard over there, Moshe emet v'torato emet, anachnu abadaim, we are the liars, Moshe emet, Moshe is true, v'torato emet, and the Torah is true. Until today, when are they going to come from under the earth? When are they going to come up? When B'siyata Dishma, the temple is going to be built. The temple is going to come from heaven. They are holding the gates that King David did for the temple, and they're going to come back with the gates. Korah. Korah v'adato, dear ladies, because Korah was very righteous. Korah wasn't a regular person. He was very righteous. He was supposed to be Levi Gadol, There's Kohen Gadol, a high priest. There was supposed to be a high Levi. But because of his actions, there's no Hai Levi until today, until Mashiach comes. What Korah thought that this is already the fixing and Mashiach is here, and the Levites are going to be the high priests, which is truly what's going to be when Mashiach is here. The priests are going to be Levites, and the Levites are going to be priests. How this will happen? It will be reincarnation, because the world today, the halacha, the commandments, is by Bet Hillel. Bet Hillel is the ones that have the commandments with mercy, because we have the evil inclination, we have Yetzer Hara. So we cannot fulfill the commandments with the judgment, like Shammai, Bet Shammai. There were two houses, Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel. All of the commandments are divided to dinim, but Bet Shammai to judgment, and Bet Hillel is by mercy. Bet Hillel, Hillel saw that we cannot conquer totally the Yetzer Hara. We need help from Hashem. And the more the world becomes older, the more people forget who brought them to this world. We think that what we do this is the essence of the world. So what happens is, because we lose what Hashem gave us, this knowledge, this spiritual knowledge, it becomes a problem to fulfill the commandments. So all of the commandments now is with chesed. But b'siyata dishmeh, when Mashiach will be here, all of the commandments will be by judgment, because there won't be evil inclination anymore. Nobody will disturb us not to fulfill the will of Hashem. That's why their disagreement between the Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel was for the sake of heaven. They didn't hate each other, they were marrying each other. So we see that Moshe Rabbeinu, how do we know that it was for the sake of heaven? Because Moshe, Mem is machloket, stands for machloket, for Moshe. Shin is Shammai, Vehei is Hillel. Because Moshe Rabbeinu is machloket Shammai v'Hillel. So at the end of days, when everything will be by judgment, because we don't have the evil inclination to disturb us not to do the will of Hashem, b'siyata dishmaya, then, dear ladies, the Levites, which is judgment, will be reincarnated in the Kohanim, in the priests, and the Kohanim, which is mercy, will be reincarnated in the Levites.
Why?
Because this is how the world will be ruled. כתוב בראשית ברא אלוקים את השמיים ואת הארץ. In the beginning, Elokim, the name of Hashem of judgment, created heaven and earth. So all the world will come to a fixing. Everybody will be very happy. We won't have suffering. We'll be happy for each other. There won't be tzarut ayin, that people are jealous. There will be good jealousy. Kinat sofrim tarbe chokhmah. We need jealousy. Because if people were not jealous, we wouldn't buy a house. We wouldn't get married. We wouldn't have children. We wouldn't have this push. This push to earn things and to make and to elevate the physical world to the spiritual. Why? Because then we will only want to study the Torah and be close to Hashem. We wouldn't want to look at this world. But Hashem created this world, לעשות לו דירה בתחתונים, that He will be among us over here in this world. The only way to do this is to elevate the physical world to spiritual. So when we buy a house, we do Chanukat Bayit, celebration of the house. We bring holiness to the house. The woman of the house does a Parashat Chala, take a portion of a challah in her house, lights the candles, keeps the purity of the family, says Tehillim in the house, sends her children to yeshivot to study Torah. This is elevating the physical world. She creates a Bet HaMikdash, a temple inside a house. And Hashem just dwells among those people in the house. Because she created this. So this is why we came to this world, dear ladies. So we continue and we see, it's written בירמיהו, ברוך הגבר אשר יבטח בהשם והיה השם יבטחו. Blessed is the man that trusts in Hashem, and Hashem was his protector, his trustee, dear ladies. Is that right to say that, trustee? Yeah, trustee. Okay. So the question over here, why is it doubled? Why it's written again, trust in Hashem and his trustee? Why is it doubled? Because, dear ladies, a man is blessed and a woman is blessed when they believe in Hashem and have trust in Hashem, that everything comes from Him and He will protect us. But what happens is we find a cause that From this cause, we see, for example, Parnasa. If I'm a tailor, I say to myself, okay, Hashem will bring me a lot of people that I will make them clothes for weddings, v'chulei, for any occasion that I'll make them clothes. And from this I have my money. I have a cause, סיבה. אני חייב איזושהי סיבה, יבואו אלי אנשים ומזה יהיה לי את הכסף. Or if I'm a shoemaker, people will order shoes from me and Hashem will send me people to order shoes. This is a person that does not understand that we don't need the reason. Hashem gives us the parnasa. Those are only messages from Hashem. If Hashem wants, Hashem can give us, I can sit in my place now and Hashem will give the parnasa ad habayit, into my house. I don't even need to make the effort of doing it, but this is truly believing in Hashem and cleansing all the klipot from us. Mamash cleaning only us and Hashem. Not getting angry, chas v'shalom, or having jealousy, mamash cleaning ourselves. Then you see miracles in front of your eyes. We all have miracles from the moment we wake up in the morning. We just do not know that we have miracles. The first miracle is when we wake up in the morning. How many of us wake up in the morning and they have a prayer in the mouth, in their head? Like they're reading Tehillim or saying something with holiness when you wake up. If you had this in the morning when you wake up, before you said Modeh Ani, if you had this in your mind, it means that you were in a very good place at night. That taught you Torah, you did say in a very good place, B'siyata Dishmaya. So let's look at the machloket. So what does it mean, Vaya Hashem Yiftacho? It means that a person trusts totally in Hashem, not in the human beings that come and give him parnasa, but he knows Hashem is the one that gives him the parnasa. There's no cause, it's directly from Hashem. All of these are messengers of Hashem, but it's Hashem that gives. It's not that He will give us, there will be a cause to have the parnasa, the income. And let's continue. But before I go, before I go to this, I'm going to continue with Midrash Tanchuma. It says that the earth opened its mouth. Bo re kama kasha machloket. Look how the disagreement is so harsh. Shekol ha'ozer b'machloket. He who helps with a disagreement. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ma'abed et zichro. Hashem wipes him, eliminates him, that there won't be even a memory of him. This means he takes his children also. Because when there's a person doesn't have a memory, that nobody continues him. He doesn't have children to continue him. It says, Shekachti be'esh yatz'a me'et Hashem v'tochal et ha-50 u'200 ish. This is what's written in the parasha, that fire went from Hashem and ate and burned 250 people. Amar Rabbi Berchaya, kama kasha machloket. How harsh is the disagreement? Shebei din shel mala, listen very carefully. Ein konsin ela miben 20 shana v'mala. That the court in heaven does not judge a person only from the age of 20. Because Hashem knows that during the adolescence, it's in Hebrew it's tipesh esrei hu shoteh. Because all of the hormones, it's like he has a storm in his body. He doesn't know where he goes, what happens with him. So Hashem does not judge a person, any child, only from the age of 20. Until the age of 13, everything that he judges the child doesn't come on the child, it comes on the parents. 13 for a boy and 12 for a girl. But until the age of 20, Hashem does not judge. Only from 20 and on, the court in heaven then starts judging that person. Look what kind of mercy Hashem has. Uvei din shel mata mi ben 13, like I told you, the court in this world from 13, dear ladies. והמחלוקת של קורח, and the disagreement of Korah, תינוקות בני יומן נשרפו ונבלעו בשאול תחתית. Babies לא עלינו were burnt and were swallowed into the ground. Babies. ונשיהם, and all of the wives and all of the property. Nobody is buried with his property. Nobody is buried with money. There's no bakshish in heaven. You cannot bribe anybody in heaven with the money. Even if they will put you, you cannot be You cannot take this money and bribe anybody. But Korah is the only one that was buried with all of his possessions, everything that he had. Even a needle that Korah gave that is to a different tribe, a different person, all of this was swallowed like a vacuum into the ground. Ad kedei kach. Which means Hashem eliminates the memory of that person. Ad kedei kach.
His children survived.
Yes, because they did tshuva. His children, dear ladies, his children survived because they had thoughts of tshuva. They were already starting to be swallowed, and then they said, Hashem, we couldn't go against our father. It's kibud orim. We have to respect their father and mother. We had to respect him. We love Moshe Rabbeinu. We didn't want to go against him, but we didn't know what to do. Please, Hashem, forgive us. At that moment, a tongue of earth went out and held them. So they didn't continue to fall down.
They were over 20 or under 20?
הילדים שלו היו מעל 20. But all of them had the thoughts of tshuva, dear ladies. Had thoughts of tshuva, and they are the ones, Mizmor Libnei Korach, that you see in Tehillim, they are the ones that wrote part of Tehillim, dear ladies. So listen what happens. I would like to give you a thing that concerning Rabbi Akiva. It says in Masechet Manchot, page 29, כתוב כך, אמר רב יהודה, אמר רב, בשעה שעלה משה למרום, מצאו לקדוש ברוך הוא שיושב וקושר כתרים לאותיות. When Moshe Rabbeinu went up the mountain of Sinai, he saw that Hashem was making like rounds to letters, the letters of Shatnez Getz. That they have, in the Torah, they have 3 crowns. Each letter has 3 crowns. So he saw the Hashem doing this. אמר לפניו, Moshe Rabbeinu was speaking to Hashem, ריבונו של עולם, Hashem, מי מעכב על ידך? Who is delaying you, he says to Hashem. אמר לו, אדם אחד, יש שעתיד, there's one person, שעתיד in future, להיות בסוף כמה דורות, after a few generations, ועקיבא בן יוסף שמו. And his name, עקיבא בן יוסף. שעתיד לדרוש על כל קוץ וקוץ תילין של הלכות, that he is going to go inside the הלכות, and he will have all crowns over each halacha, each commandment and commandment. אמר לפניו, משה רבינו told השם, ריבונו של עולם, הראהו לי, show me this person. אמר לו, חזור לאחוריך, go back. הלך וישב בסוף 8 שורות. He went back 8 rows and sat over there. You know, the Sanhedrin was the most, the people who knew most Torah were sitting in the front. And then the ones that knew less, at the second row. So he told, go back 8 rows to Moshe Rabbeinu and sit over there, and I will show you. ולא היה יודע מה הם אומרים. And Moshe Rabbeinu is seeing Rabbi Akiva, and he's seeing his students of Rabbi Akiva. He's hearing what they're saying. He does not understand anything. And it's written, v'tashash kocho. He became very weak. Because, you know, it's very disturbing when you hear and you don't understand anything. כיוון שהגיע לדבר אחד, אמרו לו תלמידיו, he was teaching something, so the students of Rabbi Akiva asked him, Rabbi, מניין לך, Rabbi, from where do you know this? אמר להן הלכה למשה מסיני. This came from Moshe that received the Torah on Mountain Sinai, he says. נתיישבה דעתו, Moshe Rabbeinu felt better. Because now he says, this is Moshe Rabbeinu received on Mountain Sinai. חזר ובא לפני הקדוש ברוך הוא. Moshe Rabbeinu again comes in front of Hashem. אמר לפניו, ריבונו של עולם, he says, Hashem, יש לך אדם כזה, you have such a man, ואתה נותן תורה על ידי, and you give the Torah by me, you make me a messenger of the Torah, you have such a person? Look how humble Moshe Rabbeinu was. הוא אומר לו, אתה נותן תורה על ידי? שנייה, אמר לו, שתוק, please be silent. Hashem tells him, be silent. כך עלה במחשבה. This is what I had in my thoughts. אמר לפניו, ריבונו של עולם, he says, Hashem, הראיתני תורתו, you showed me his Torah. הראני שכרו, show me his reward. אמר לו, חזור לאחוריך, go back, he tells him השם. חזר לאחוריו, ראה ששוקלין בשרו במקולין. He saw that the Romans are taking masrek, a comb of iron, and they are comb brushing his flesh, his skin, a little by little until he passes away. He said to Hashem, Hashem, זה תורה וזה שכרה? Again Hashem tells him, שתוק, כך עלה במחשבה. Look, he says, שתוק, כך עלה במחשבה. Yes. Be silent. This is what I had in my thought. That's what he tells him. What does it mean? I would like to tell you that Rabbi Akiva, 40 years, he was Am Haaretz. The second 40 years of his life, he studied Torah, Lamad Torah. And the third 40 years of his life, Limed Torah. He taught Torah, which means the first 40 years he was, Am Haaretz, he was ignorant. But there's a different word, a better word, I just forgot the word, but it's okay, this is also from Hashem. So he was ignorant, he didn't know even how to read and write.
Illiterate.
Okay, illiterate. He didn't know even how to read and write. The second 40 years he studied Torah. The third 40 years he taught Torah. He had 24,000 students. Part of his students was Rabbi Akiva. Part of his students were Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, Rabbi Meir Baal HaNes, Rabbi Yosei, dear ladies, big rabbis. Rabbi Yehuda B'siyata Dishmaya, big rabbis were his students. So from Rabbi Akiva we learn not to judge anyone. Because Rabbi Akiva is Rabbi Akiva. Even though he was illiterate and he didn't know how to read and write until the age of 40, look what a big rabbi he became. Such a big rabbi that Moshe Rabbeinu has to go to the 8th row in order to listen to him studying Torah with his students, and Moshe Rabbeinu does not understand. He does not understand. And as Moshe Rabbeinu is speaking to Hashem, face to face speaking to Hashem. This is Rabbi Akiva that until the age of 40 did not know Torah. So chas v'shalom, we shouldn't put down any child that goes off the way or any person that does not know yet the right way. Because Hashem is waiting for them, and this is an excellent example. What can go out of a person that didn't know even how to write and read? But 20 years, dear ladies, the first 20 years, he's not punished because, like I told you from Midrash and Chumah, first 20 years, the court in heaven does not judge a person. So this is 20 years out of the 40. But the second 20 years, he's judged before he did Shuvah. But because he's such a precious soul, a big soul, very precious, dear ladies, in order to fix those 20 years, his death was shelo aleinu, with a comb of iron to take his flesh. And Rabbi Akiva, when his students saw this, they told him, Rabbeinu, ad lekan, you should say something, Rabbeinu. And he says, no, Hashem says, bechol nafshecha, you should love Hashem, and you should be devoted to Hashem with all of your soul, even if He takes your soul. And I always wanted to do this. And now that I came to this nisayon, to this test, he said, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and in the word one, his soul went out. How come Moshe Rabbeinu, that had also 50 gates of wisdom, did not understand what he was saying? Because Moshe Rabbeinu went to heaven with his body. Rabbi Akiva was studying with the students only the souls, without the body, without the limitation of our body. Because the body limits the soul to understand things. We can learn this from the Arizal. The Arizal had a big student, his name was Rabbi Avraham Alevi. And one day the Arizal was sitting on the sofa and he fell asleep. It was in the middle of the day. And while he was sleeping, he started mumbling. He was starting saying Divrei Torah during his sleep. So Rabbi Avraham Halevi wanted to listen, he wanted to study. So he came close to him, put his ear, but once he did this, he woke up Rabbi Arizal. And he told him, Rabbi, you were speaking while you were sleeping, and I wanted to study from you. He said, what did you learn? He said, I was in yeshiva in heaven, and I was learning about Bilam. And what I learned in half an hour, even 80 years, if I will teach you, it won't be enough. Why? Because the soul went out of the body, and the soul was learning without the limitation of the body. So what Moshe Rabbeinu saw, and he didn't understand, because they were souls studying without the limitation of the body. And Moshe Rabbeinu went to Mountain Sinai with his body. So that's why he couldn't understand. But look what Hashem says. Kach. This is how he says. Because kach, it's two chaf. Chaf v'chaf. Chaf is 20, and another chaf is 20. Together it's 40, a numerical value. So it says, Kach Allah, this is how I'm going to elevate his soul. The first 20 years, he wasn't judgeable, because the court does not judge in heaven. A person who comes until the age of 20, before the age of 20, is not under judgment. But the second 20 years, he is judgeable. He needs to be judged. But because he's such a high soul, and he needs to be elevated to a very high place, this is what happened in my thought. ומה זה מחשבה? מחשבה is the letter, מחשבה is the letter of simcha. בשמחה. You see, מחשבה, a thought, is the letters of besimcha, that Rabbi Akiva did this with happiness. B'siyata dishmaya. So we learn there's a potential of Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Motenu in each one of us. We all have a potential. In each man is a potential of being Rabbi Akiva. But in order to be Rabbi Akiva, we need to learn from his ways and to cleanse ourselves. We have the potential, but we have to cleanse ourselves. How do we do that? If we have emunah ve'bitachon, dear ladies, the emunah ve'bitachon cleanse us. We need to understand, shemishamayim notnim lo la'adam, from heaven, the person receives et haraui v'aniktzav lo, everything that he needs. There's no place for jealousy. There's no place that one religion will say we should conquer all the world. There's no place that our nation will say we should conquer these and these areas. There's no place for it. A person cannot take anything. Im lo natnu lo mishamayim. If Hashem did not say that this belongs to him. Everything that happens to us, from Rosh Hashanah, dear ladies, till the next Rosh Hashanah is already decided on Rosh Hashanah and sealed on Yom Kippurim. Everything. The marriages, people who pass away from this world, children that come to this world, everything was already decided. In order to change things, we need to daven and we need to cleanse our heart and our mouth, that our mouth and our heart will be even. We need to cleanse ourselves. How do we remind ourselves? How do we do that? We remind ourselves all the time. Like I told you, this is the month of Tammuz. We remind ourselves. Don't fight. We see somebody fighting, prevent yourself from being part of it. And if somebody speaks to you not nicely, even from the family, your husband, your children, tell them how much you love them. The evil inclination, Yetzer Hara, does not like the word love. He does not like the word love. And when we say, Ani ohevet otach, Ani ohevet otcha, this breaks all of this energy. Mamash breaks it to small pieces because it cannot continue. Because love is the opposite of da'aga, of worry. Because we know, I'm writing it over here. Okay. Look. Ahava, dear ladies, In numerical value, Aleph is 1, Hey is 5, Bet is 2, and another Hey is 5. Together it's 13. De'aga, dear ladies, worry. Dalet is 4, Aleph is 1, Gimel is 3, Hey is 5, again 13. So dear ladies, we can see that when we use the word love, ahava, we take away worry, anger, jealousy. We take away everything bad because at that moment, all of the energy around that person is broken. All of this energy of fight, all of this energy of anger is broken to pieces. We just need to overcome our pride. It's not easy. I had a woman that came to me and she said, you know, I had a fight with my sister and my mother, and I'm going back to she doesn't live in that place. She needs to fly to the place that she lives in, and I know now that I'm going back and I'm not going to speak with them for a few years until I see them again. And I said, why should you do this? Even if they wronged you, it's not them that wronged you. It's Hashem that sent them. It was a test for you. It was already decided in heaven that this woman, your sister and your mother, are going to shout at you. They are only the stick of Hashem. But, dear ladies, if a person takes upon himself a mission that is not positive, a mission that is not positive, and he takes it upon himself, he's going to be punished for it. He's doing a negative fixing. Because there's a lot of messages for Hashem. But if a person decided, it means that he already has a lot of sacks on the left side, a lot of destructive angels, more than he has good angels. If he accepts upon himself to do a thing to harm another person, either emotionally or physically, or money, dear ladies, or with money, if he takes upon himself, he's going to be punished for it. He's a shaliach, he's a messenger, but he's going to punish. So everything in this world is a fixing. So how can we make our fixing? Somebody comes to us, either he gives us a good thing, he says a good thing, a compliment, he helps us. This means that this person, Hashem sent him as a messenger, but he's a very positive person because that's why he accepted upon himself to do a good thing for another person. And when a person comes to us and does bad things to us, lo alenu, not so good things to us, he's also a messenger from Hashem. So it's ridiculous, dear ladies, even to be angry with this person because it's only a messenger. It's Hashem that the Hashem, nachon, it hurts because we live in this world and we have feelings and it hurts. But if we understand that kol David Rachmana letav advid, that everything that Hashem does is only for the good, like Nira said before, hakol tov, look over here, that everything is good, hakol tov. We just don't see that hakol tov, that everything is good, because we are inside the picture. We are inside the situation. We cannot see far. We cannot see what happened before. In different reincarnations, we don't know exactly what we came to fix. We don't know what is going to happen in the future. We are stuck in a position like a child that is 2 years old and is walking and is looking at his parents. He doesn't see. He sees from the height of his eyes. He cannot interpret things like he's supposed to understand them. He sees it from his eyes. This is what happens to us. But if we have the understanding, and we are not fools to lose what Hashem gave us, we understand that everything is for our best interest, that everything that Hashem does, even if people hurt us, and especially if we are hurt by people, you should say thank you to those people. You know why? Because Hashem didn't punish you with your parnasa, didn't punish you with your health. When we are punished with our health, chas v'shalom, it's not really punishment. It's we are doing it to ourselves. Yaakov Avinu, the Shekhinah was not revealed to him for 22 years. Why? Because Yosef HaTzadik was taken from him, and he was in sorrow, and he was very sad all those 22 years. He became older because he had worry, because he didn't see his son. Dear ladies, again, we cause us, it's not Hashem. It's us, by the way we think, cause ourselves. We distract ourselves with our own hands. That's what the Yetzer Hara wants, the evil inclination wants. Because if we change the way we think, she'en od milvado, there's nothing except Hashem. Everything is God, and God is everything. Like the Baal Shem Tov says, we dress human beings, we eat human beings, we sit on human beings. If we understand that everything is from Hashem, then everything is good. Hakol tov. And if a person disrespects us or speaks not nicely to us, Hashem is taking our avonot, our sins, and just wiping it. And if we accept this with love, Baruch Hashem, we have a big place in heaven, in paradise. So, dear ladies, remember, Ezehu Shoteh, who is the fool? The one that loses what Hashem gave him. So Hashem gave us only good things. Hashem wants us to be happy with what He gave us. Hashem wants us to understand the way He controls this world. And once a person understands the way he should think, the way he should change his thinking, b'siyata dishmeh, then everything is good. Kol David Achman Tavak Vid. Everything. Everything is Hashem. Everything is with mercy. En od milvado. There's no existence in this world except for Hashem. So I would like to bless all of us, Bezrat Hashem. May Hashem will help us to have positive thinking, faith, and confidence in Hashem. May Hashem and happiness. Once we understand that everything is good, we're happy all the time, because there's no reason not to be happy. If a person insulted us, we say, thank you, Hashem. Chatati, aviti, pashati, I've sinned. Thank you, Hashem. If you just take this out only by insulting us, thank you, Hashem. It's written in Tomer Dvorah, Rabbi Moshe Kordover, Zchutot Hagen Aleinu, says, it's better for a person to have insults than chas v'shalom, in order to take off his sins. Hashem will touch him with his parnasa, his children, or with a husband or wife, chas v'shalom, with other things. A little bit of insult, a little bit of taking down your ego, it's better than Hashem touching other areas. So I would like to bless all of us, בעזרת השם, שיתגלה משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו, אמן, שיגיע מבשר אליהו, נביא אליהו, תשבי אליהו גלדי, במהרה משיח בן דוד אליהו נזכרו לה, טוב, נולד נפרד אדם מחברו בדבר הלכה, יחיד ברבים, הלכה כרבים. חזק וברוך. Next Monday, בעזרת השם, שיעור.